Hello, and we come to the last, the sixth of a rather unfortunately stated four-part series on the Fearshid Shillelagh. As you can possibly tell, it grew a little beyond my original anticipation. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to look at the whole system together. We're going to look at how it would work, what you can do, and we're going to go through this with a little bit more speed, not really going into anything, but just to show you how it can all come together. Now, if we will start in our proper stance, hand up, cane just long enough to exceed the forearm, but not touching the forearm because thorns. Now we have the four cut lines, which are diagonally down, straight across, so straight up and down, across, and the two diagonals. And the four lines make the 8 cuts. So I can either come down or I can come up. I can come across or I can come up. I can come up or I can come down, and I can come either way across the straight line. Now we have the various cuts. Now we can deliver the cut down, but if the cut is coming in, I can catch it in a straight cut. As you can see, all I have done is I have moved my body across. Fearshid, meaning spindle, means that I have spun one way. So naturally, my response is to spin the other. Now, you'll notice that all I have done in this situation is I have dropped and moved the cane across into the face. This is the most basic of concepts with regards to this style. Equally, if the attack comes in again, I can catch it higher, I can catch it on this bit. Now, the reason I might want to do this is because I may want to do something with this, like hooking over. And you'll see that as I hook over, I can deliver a tap on the way, but my body has turned. And I have spun one way, I can spin the other. This builds me up nicely for what we call the dart thrust, the single-handed thrust with the longer length of the cane, or shillelagh in this stance. Now, if it comes again on the same line and I catch, you'll notice that I should have been keeping my hand up here. And the reason I'm keeping my hand up here is this would be wrapped, and I wouldn't be wrapping it in my cloak to try and stop that, because no matter what happens, if that's wrapped as you like and that hits it, I'm still going to take a nasty strike to the bone. If it doesn't break the bone, it's certainly going to do some bruising. But once I've got my cane in the way, I can put this here, and I've got two options. I can either push up, opening up the door, or I can push down, again opening up the door, and I can come round. So as I move across, you'll notice I have moved here, push down, uncoil. First one way, then the other. And Ian's going to do this very slowly, because I'm going to show you the third, which is called the sacrifice block. And the sacrifice block is the I've got nothing else, but it's better than my head block. My guard is up, my cane is out here, the attack comes in, and I can put my hand in the way. I know I've just said that's a very stupid thing to do. However, sometimes there are circumstances where this is less stupid than that. So if I have absolutely no other option, I can put my hand in the way to block. The cloak, the wrap cloak I'm using is padding. It's not going to save me from much, it's not going to take out much of the impact, but if you were to pull that cane back, like a ripcord, if I weren't wearing that cloak, all of the thorns would be coming straight through my forearm, and I would be bleeding. I would not be having a good day with this arm. I may decide that that is me losing the fight, or if this is just a brawl, this arm is not going to be doing much. Finally, there is what we call the downwards block, or the hanging block. So as it comes in, I turn my body across into it, and I bring this down. Now you will notice that what I have here is I have the cane in the way, I have the forearm block here, There are reasons I can do this. Again, I can strike down with my forearm if I so choose, if I have the time, or I can, if I've got my forearm here, I can bring my cane up, strike through with what we call the spear thrust. Spear thrust is when the offhand is back, bayonet thrust is when the offhand is forward. It's a pedantic point, it doesn't particularly matter. As long as you're delivering a thrust to the opponent at that point, you can see how it comes together. Now, and anything that we can do on that side, we can do on this side. So if it comes in, I can block here, and then I can, if I turn into it slightly, I will uncoil, very simple. You'll notice that suddenly my lines, it's a lot harder to come high, so my lines will probably be lower at this point. Again, if it comes in, I can catch higher, and what I might do is, I might decide at this point, I can take the door open with my hand, come in, or even uncoil down straight into the head. From this open door position, if I've caught high, I can also come with a thrust, or I can start to do other things. I might come round if I have the time, if that's not coming back in my way. I may, from this position, hook back, grab, pull. There are lots of things we can do from these positions. But one of the things we haven't really covered is what happens if the attack is coming up and low. Well, all I need to do is turn and drop low. There's no way I'm going to get down that low, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to drop and turn. What I may do at that point is take a step back to give myself just that little bit more time. And again, you can see from this position, I can come in with a pick thrust, I could uncoil up and over, and then through. One of the pieces that really caught my attention is what I call the three-part, the tripartite. It's just to give you and it's where I'm going to finish. It's just to give you a rough idea of where this can go. So if Ian gives me a target, because he'll appreciate not being in the way for this one without a helmet and padding. So if I'm here and the attacks came in here and I parried, you'll see that I've completely coiled. So what I can do is I can twist my body round into that sort of attack, and this is delivered quickly. So if I get it right, I parry, twist, twist in that very quick succession. So I move in to catch, and then I twist, twist into quick succession to make sure that I've hit him twice while he's still recovering his cane. This is the Fearshid system. It is it's an amalgamation of the half a dozen systems which I mentioned at the beginning. I hope you've enjoyed having a very quick look at this interesting little take on Shillelagh, and hope to see you again soon.